The following program is sponsored by John Chachis Insurance, your local farmer's insurance agent located 800 Avenue G in Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Ely TV, Channel 3-2 in Ely, Nevada. Ely City Council meeting, January 9th, 2014.
City Council meeting in order. All rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And King Cleaver here for the invitation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for the privilege of living in this fine city of Ely. We thank you for giving us a mayor and councilman with the power that can help us lead us and mold this community according to your will. We ask that you will bless our community and direct our leaders in their deliberations to help us reach full potential, that Ely might become the best city that it can be. For this we give you the praise, the honor, and the glory. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, Judge.
Mayor Hickman.
Here.
Councilman Sederstrom.
Here.
Councilman Durbridge.
Present.
Councilman Lee.
Here.
Councilman Westland.
Here.
Councilman Hanson.
Present.
Clerk Treasurer Rosen. Here. City Attorney Sears.
Here.
Public Works Director Jenkins.
Here.
City Fire Chief Rivera.
Here.
City Engineer Omberg and City Building Official Christensen are both absent. That's all, Mayor.
All right, with that, we'll go to public comment. Comments by city and email from link will be accepted from the general public and attendant. If any are made, there may be discussion upon the comments. No vote, decision, or action will be taken upon matters raised under the item until informed placed on the future agenda. Comments during the discussion will not be accepted from the general public. Section 8.05 of the non-open meeting law manual indicates that the public item may prohibit comment of the contents of the comment, whether if the topic is not relevant or within the authority of the public body, or if the content of the comment is willfully disruptive of the meeting or being irrelevant, repetitious, slanderous, offensive, inflammatory, irrational, or amounting to personal attacks on anything with election of the speakers. But that would open up the public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, again, I'm repeating myself. In reading City Code Chapter 6, Section 1-6F-7, it states that if any person interferes with the city engineer, such person so offending shall be deemed guilty of a misdemeanor. Has the Ely Utility Board or the City of Ely ever filed a misdemeanor charge against Mr. Keith Carson or any other individual for his or her actions or their actions regarding the sewer line project contemplated in Central Ely? The project's being held up, and yet there's no action on their part. Mr. Mayor, I'm again requesting a list of all of those that have applied to fill their water tanks or trucks using city water. I want to know if Mr. Allworth is on the list with his business about water. I want to know if he has paid the proper deposit. Was he issued a city meter? In August 7, 2013, I reported he was seen filling his water truck at the BLM complex. Did the BLM bill him for the water, or did you bill it? Does the BLM have a city-issued water meter? Have they paid the deposit fees per city policy? Were there any late fees, penalties, or interest collected as you collect from others? Mr. Mayor, you to date have not addressed as to why you're charging me commercial rates for my home when I'm not in business. I am again requesting your response in writing or the basis for your refusal. I am again requesting a copy of State Senator Pete Bogachia's landfill billing, which he stated in a county commission meeting was approximately $500 or more. That includes late fees, penalties, and or interest. Has Mr. Bath paid for his connection fees? Has Mr. Christiansen paid for his extension obligation? Were any of these people assessed late fees, penalties, or interest as you're applying to others? Did we get an answer here, Mr. Mayor? Mr. Mayor, in reviewing what few permit reports you have provided, I've yet to see where County Commissioner John Lampos has applied and received a variance regarding setbacks on his new home. I've told you more than once your reports are inconsistent. I have yet to see where anyone from the Tropical has ever applied for the narrowing of Canton Street near their facility. I remind you that you had a fatal accident just recently. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda, you're contemplating the National Guard Armory as a meeting center. It's not ADA compliant. I've told you that in the past. You need to look at that long and hard before you make any move. Mr. Mayor,
Thank you, Mr.
the,
Justice. Anybody else for public comment?
can I get some answers, Mr. Mayor? I'm tired of coming here and not getting anywhere.
Is there anybody else for public comment? Sir?
Mr. Mayor, on your agenda, you have an item concerning metal charges at the landfill. Councilman Durfee put this on the utility board agenda, which I think is a conflict of interest, as his business will benefit from this. His business was one of the most vocal in having to pay the metal charge at the landfill when I was there. The minimum amount charged to the commercial business helped defray the cost of taking care of the metal pile until it is shipped. Private homeowners in all of White Pine County, not just the city of Ely, as stated by your city clerk, have their metal charges paid by the White Pine, White Pine Agreement Program. Commercial businesses can't use this program. All money collected from selling the metal go back to the general fund to help offset revenue shortages. In the last budget year, approximately $28,500 was put into the general fund from metal sales. To approve any deletion of charges to businesses for metal charges is not a good move. And who is going to pay for the damage done to the fire hydrant and backflow preventer at the corner of Clark Street and First Street? Councilman Subston and his group should be the ones paying for all of these costs, including labor and equipment, not the citizens. Also, is the city sending the backflow preventer in to have it recertified after it was repaired? Councilman Sutherland and his group should be responsible for this also. Also, your public works director should be written up for allowing unqualified people to use this hydrant without proper training and damaging the hydrant and the backflow preventer. Are you going to make George Chapchis install curb and gutter and sidewalk around his property at 665 and 685 Stevens Avenue? He tore down 2 old houses and upgraded his property to put in a trailer park there, so there should be, so he should be required to install the curb and gutter on the sidewalk. Also, did Mr. Chapchis get all the required permits and have all the required inspections done to this property? And last, I'd like to know what the council is going to do about the 2 city employees that divorced their spouses and are having a fling together. This is a violation of your city personal policy manual, and it needs to be addressed by the council. I will be checking with the Ethics Commission to see if there's any violation that I have mentioned here that is under their jurisdiction, and if there is, I will follow up with a formal complaint with them.
Do you have their address?
Yep. We have, did I see her?
Martin?
No, the lady behind you.
I'm sorry. Yes?
You want to make public comment?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Yes, I do. Yes, Mr. Mayor, I am concerned. I paid, please state. My name is Heather Morrison. I paid cash to have a lien removed from my home in McGill that the city of Ely placed on it. Having gone to the courthouse and checked daily, the lien is still on my property, and as of today, I gotten more bills, one for $1,413.32, one for $57.67, yet I have a receipt that states that it was paid cash. The lien is still on my home. My husband, when I brought this up to the attention, my husband was threatened with his job working for the city of Ely, and said, I believe, do not quote me, I was not there in person, was stated that he needs to keep his dog on a leash or his job will be in jeopardy. And I have tried to sell this house 3 times, and the lien is still there, even though I have paid cash above and beyond the amount. The lien is still on my house, so I cannot sell my house or do anything. I would like to know why.
Do they have the copies of that in City Hall right now?
I'm sorry?
Do they have copies of that in City Hall right now?
I do not know.
I'll cover this in my report.
Okay, Richard.
I'll address
our
it.
attorney will listen to when he does his report.
And I'll cover her in my report too.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public comment? If there's no other public comment, then I'll move on with our regular agenda. It is the city department report, starting with fire chief. Ross, you have anything to add to the report?
No, you've seen my report. The report for the year. For the year ending for this year, total calls and percentage of calls. Do you have any questions on that? No questions. As far as Marty, your question on Brownsville, you see my sitting email for Red Lock. Yes, thank you. You have not received the reply. That's fine. Thank you. And also, I am going to try. Last meeting, I made a statement that I was going to try to take one or the other. Today, I'm going to try to do both. We'll see how things pan out. So I might not be here too much next week at all. So, just to let you know, but I'll try to email you this morning.
Thank you, Ross. Police chief, we have his blog, city clerk, treasurer. Jennifer, you have anything?
The only thing I have to report besides all the liens are getting paid, as I talked about this morning. One of them was Mrs. Hopewell. She did pay. We posted it as of 12/27/2013, the full amount, all except for the $57.67, which is the current amount owed because she just paid for the lien balance, which means that the $13 keeps getting added every month. She didn't pay that portion of it. Ms. Hopewell does have a history of having delinquencies. We can't stop that. So she does owe currently $57.67. Probably what had happened was that final notice got crossed in the mail from the time she paid it to the time it got sent out. And it was nothing we can do about it. But as for the lien part, we will explain that part. But as for our end, it was posted. I have proof right here. It is posted, and her current balance is $57.67.
Okay, and Richard, you'll follow up on your report on that?
Sure.
Okay. Jennifer, I know they've been calling you out to corrals. Is there anything you want to say of what's been going on out there?
I have an assistant that's been working on trying to get these yearly corral leases paid up to balance. There is a couple of them that we've been having issues with contacting. We're currently doing certified letters right now to say, hey, you need to pay or we will be evicting you. In fact, we sent out one and she's in the process of sending out 2 more. That's only 1 year behind, saying we need to pay or contact us because they won't even return our calls. We have another corral, Corral 58, that I'm working with the Corral Association on getting it leased out.
Okay. City attorney?
We have been getting not a great response, but a response to the liens that we filed. I think there were approximately 36 liens filed. We've probably had about 10 pay, maybe somewhat less than that, maybe 7. When I get the funds and the funds are deposited, we issue a lien release to the recorder's office, and it can take a little bit of time between the mail and the recorder's office until the recorder gets it mailed back to myself, and it'll show up clear on the title report. So it's just the way the system works. It takes some time to get it done.
Takes a few weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I would think anywhere from, well, depending on the payment, it could take anywhere from 30 days to 45 days. So it takes some time. But it's all happening.
Thank you. And you'd have to take it back to the city hall. And you can call Mr. Sears anytime. I'm sure he'll take your call. Public Works Director. City engineer's not here. Public Works Director. Any questions? What's going on with the fire hydrant? It's all fixed and everything? It's all certified?
Mr. Mayor, Rick Stork is right about that. I was responsible. So I told Jennifer and Ron, send me the bill, and I'm going to take care of it. And it's taken care of.
Oh, well, that's what I'm.
Right. So Rick was absolutely right that I was responsible for that.
Where are we hauling the hazardous waste that's under the mill site? Oh, all right. The stuff up there, it's hazardous, is not being removed? It was taken care of. It's already taken care of.
They had passengers have to remove some.
Okay. Where did we take it?
I actually, there was two places, one you found, one in United. For consideration.
It's out of the ballot. Thank you.
Actually,
Utah's a wonderful place.
Is that like a one you come?
Yeah.
Like one with that one, and just the back one.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, the mayor will recess the regular city council meeting for a meeting of the Ely Liquor Licensing Board. Number one, council members discussion possible action approval of liquor license to Hard, if I say this right, Hard Winder Sting of R-Gas Gas Oil Corporation for the pizza factory. Is Mr. Sting here? That's my family. So Mr. Sting's not here? All right, this is for a liquor license for the pizza factory, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jennifer, on this, one of you Jennifers, is this the old Red Apple?
Yeah, the old Big Apple,
Red Apple.
or is it Red, I thought it was Big Apple.
Well,
Whatever Apple it was.
Red Apple, no.
Big Apple.
What, Big Apple, no.
Big Red Apple.
Okay.
Big Red Apple?
Both for the liquor license. Any questions?
Wormy apple?
Well, I thought it was the one that changes the Red Apple. I thought it would be one of those, a Big Apple. It would be a New York Deli.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, the mayor will recess the regular city council meeting, liquor licensing board for the people with the White Pine Historic Railroad, the foundation, board of trustees. And I'll turn that over to Mr. Griffin.
We'll open this meeting with our White Pine Historical Railroad Foundation Board of Trustees. Number one, Executive Director, Mark.
Dale, just as a heads up, you might want to speak louder. That ice chest over there, you can't hear anything on that side of the room. Yeah.
Ron, unplug that. I think it's the top. Yeah.
Wow. Flood out the building. Is that, can you guys hear us a little bit better now?
Yes. Thank you. That's a lot better. You have our report, or my report ready for the end of the year. Basically, we had a pretty good year. We did take a hit on our Polar Expresses because, just like retailers were saying, we had one less week between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so that did hurt us. We were down about a 13% decrease. And then for the year, we did carry 12,629 passengers for a 2% increase over the previous year. Comps given in the month of December were approximately 30. We partnered with Montwheeler Power in their Santa Elves program and provided passes for families to ride the Polar Express. That's where the comps came from. We also did the First National Bank $25,000 matching grant. We actually matched that $25,000, and the final figures aren't in yet, but it appears that we raised about $90,000. So, during the month of December. On the earmarked funds, we have selected HDR Engineering as an engineering firm to assist us with that particular grant. And the other big thing is the Fireworks Express is January 18th, 2014 at 4:30.
Where's this engineering company from?
Las Vegas. They're actually a international company. Yeah, they have offices just about everywhere. And then we have the Winter Steam Spectacular photo shoots. The first weekend is sold out. There's still availability in the second weekend, and we do have the wigwag signals installed. There's a pretty picture of them there. So, do you have any questions at all?
Yeah, Mark, I just have one question on those earmarked funds. There's so many different grants, I get confused. The 1.7 million that you've got listed there.
Correct.
Did that get discounted with the payments that we made
Yes,
last month?
it is.
Okay.
Correct.
So that would be reduced by the amount that we paid.
And actually, there's a little more there, so it actually comes in about 1.2 million.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I got a question. I seen the wing tag standing. Looks
Yes.
pretty neat. Are they hooked up?
Yes.
They're sort of wired, because last time you didn't have them hooked up. I was just
Right.
curious, because I want to go see them operate.
Well, we're working on that. So, yeah, it's old technology, new technology. So we did have our signal maintainer come in and hook them up. I haven't tested them yet, so I haven't seen them go. As soon as we got them hooked up, that's going to be for the night photo shoot. That's where we're going to do a lot. We'll be photographing those very heavily during the photo shoots.
Last Sunday, maybe it was Saturday, about 8 o'clock at night,
The arm came down.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they were lifting it up and down, but I thought, well, that's not good.
And it's never
Across
done,
the highway.
yeah, it's never done it before.
So I sat there and watched it about 3 times. It kept
Yeah.
down and back up.
Yeah, and we've secured it. The signal maintainer is going to come back and take another look at it. We have it secured. We're not using that track. Have no idea why.
Right. I was kind of worried because since something was
Yep.
making it come down, a truck come down, and then it's going to take them off.
Take it out. Yeah, they are designed to break away.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to hit them, but they do
Right.
have that fail-safe feeture.
All right. I just thought I'd bring that up in case.
Thank you. Yeah, we're on speed dial with
All right.
the sheriff.
Good. Okay.
Is that all questions, Mark? We'll move on to number 2, Trustee Setterstone. Discussion, possible action, review, and possible approval of expenditures that comprise White Pine Historical Railroad Foundation account 255, note payable to Mark and Joan Bassett, amount of $72,399.22.
Mark, this is something I've been concerned about for 3 years. You remember, we've talked about it numerous times. I brought it up during the campaign. When I started talking about it, it was at $38,000. 3 years ago, approximately 38, 40,000. It's up to 72,000 now, and our auditors threw up a red flag. You got the letter from the auditors.
Absolutely.
So I thought this would be a good time to review the charges. One reason I want to review it is what you printed on your last report. The long-term liabilities for account 255, Mark and Joan Bassett, increased because of a purchase from January 2012 that had been overlooked.
Correct.
It was found as we were getting ready for our annual audit.
Correct.
So, it had been almost a year, and you found $7,000 and said, oh, shoot, here's $7,000 I loaned out and forgot.
Correct.
So I was thinking, maybe for the $72,000 we can see the paperwork, for the receipts and what the money went for, just out of curiosity. Like the $7,000 from last January, what was that purchase for?
I don't have my notes in front of me. I don't. But it's all documented. We have receipts for everything.
You didn't happen to bring it with you today, did you?
No, I didn't know exactly what you wanted.
Well, review and possible approval of the expenditures. That's kind of what I wanted. All right, maybe next meeting, if we can get those receipts so we can take a look at them. That's it, I guess, no action.
Put on to the next meeting.
Well, I would move that Mark brings in the receipts at the next meeting so we can go through them, or send copies to us before the next meeting so we can all review them, and then put it on the agenda for the next meeting to approve them.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I have a question, Mr. Durbridge.
What, George?
You have down here expenditures, and I was going to say there was nothing in the packet to indicate what expenditures you were going to
That's what
consider.
we're talking about, George. We don't have anything.
Okay,
Yeah, we didn't
I don't
get
get everything you guys get all the time, so
We
I
don't have
thought.
them either.
Okay.
Number 3, Trustee Setterstone, discussion for possible action. Consideration to create a payment schedule to pay off the Lifeline Historical Railroad Foundation account 255. Bill payable to Mark and Joan Bassett, amount of $72,399.22.
As I said, it was a red flag by the accountants, and I think we should come up with some kind of payment schedule. I know we stopped, in the meeting before last for you to add any more to it, but I think now we need to start paying it down. I think it was great of you to loan the money to the railroad, especially the first time, for the wages.
And I guess the question is, how do you propose getting it paid down?
You know what? Even if it's $50 a week, I think we just
Where does
start
the
working on it.
$50 a week come from?
Well, when you loaned the money, where did you think it was going to come from? Because I'm sure you didn't give it to the money.
No, it's going to come from the foundation. One of the things the railroad has always needed is patient money. From day one, we got this wonderful gift from Kennecott, and then Kennecott left town. And when Kennecott left town, they left with the money. So from day one, we were behind the 8 ball. And they tried to involve the state park system in this. State park came, and they did a study on the railroad. They said this would make a wonderful state park if you had $8 million. Well, no one had $8 million, so the state park people walked away. So the problem with the railroad has been from day one, we've always been running in the negatives. It's always needed patient money. We have just gone through the Great Recession, and now our fundraising, at least at the end of December, was very, very successful, and we're looking for a good season for 2004. So as soon as we have the revenue to start doing that, yes, we will come up with some sort of payment schedule. But right now, if we were to start paying back on that, we're going to cripple the foundation financially.
Well, I think one of the main problems too with this is this was never brought in front of the city council when this was made.
Okay.
Which is wrong because the board of trustees, not city council, board of trustees is in charge of it.
Okay.
So you can't loan money outside of the budget. And actually the trustees, since I've been on here, we haven't had a budget. We haven't had a financial statement either. We have what you give us, but that's not a financial statement.
You have the audit from the auditors. That is the complete financial system statement of the railroad. And that has been given to, in fact, Robert Moore started auditing the foundation. The foundation was never audited until Robert Moore became the city auditor and said, I can't give the city a clean bill of health on their books until the foundation is audited. So that's why the city pays for the audit of the foundation. And so that note has appeared in the last 4 or 5 years worth of auditing. Again, these expenses go back to 2002, and as I told you at the last meeting, when I took over as executive director, there was no money, period. They had spent all the money repairing locomotive 93, and then we raised $100,000 to go to Salt Lake City and participate in the Winter Olympics. And so when we came back from that, there was no executive director, and there was no money.
Mark, I realize that what you've done for the railroad is tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
At the last management board meeting, you were talking about getting a life insurance policy on yourself.
Correct.
And that was going to cost $200 a month.
Correct.
For, if I recall right, it was $1 million for $200 a month. There was a couple of them.
There was a couple of them, yes.
So, instead of the $1 million for $200 a month, do the $500,000 for $100 a month and take the other $100 and pay down the loan.
Well,
That's
again,
kind of what the
again,
life insurance policy was for, is
it's a
things
key
like
man,
that.
it's
Right.
a key man policy, and the management board is looking at that, and they haven't made a decision one way or the other. But one of the things for the key man policy is